Hey everyone, welcome our guests Ingor Rooi and Kathryn Lang on The Experience, live with Russ Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook.
The Experience is made possible by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show, unscripted conversations with experts, each week hosted by Christine Smith on AgingBetterNetwork.com. The Jalad Home Team, Keller Williams Realty Mid-Willamette, 541-451-2211, teamjalad.com. Realistic Replicas, transforming metal into living art, realisticreplicas.com. And now,
here we are on The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Welcome on this Wednesday morning here on the Pacific Coast. We are live at 7 a.m. PDT each week for your viewing and listening pleasure. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah, I'm doing good. You can see over my shoulder there, I've got this live webcam feed on YouTube from Seaside, Oregon, and that is a pair of osprey who are tending their two little chicks there. So they've hatched their eggs, and they have just hatched. And so it's a lot of fun. It's just kind of one of those things to put on in the background and watch them care for their little babies.
There you go. Well, it's amazing what you can find around the world live on all the cams we have nowadays. So amazing. You don't even have to go anywhere to see the amazing things that are happening right now. So that's so awesome. So Scott, tell me what you got going on this week.
Well, this week, I'm really looking forward to Christine's program. So my wife, I get to produce her show, Aspects of Aging. It's at noon Eastern time, and that's 9 here on the West Coast. Aspects of Aging is unscripted conversations with experts. And every week, she's just got some amazing folks coming on. Today is no exception. So people want to tune in, watch live so you can comment, or watch the replay in linkedin.com/in/Christine with CH, then 2 dashes and Smith, and you can watch live there on her profile.
There you go. Simple to get to, or just look for her name in the search, right? And you can have fun because they're unscripted, and so you never know what to expect, but it's always very exciting. So you know what, I've been blessed to be on Christine's show, and just so thankful for that. Yeah, I told you on backstage, I've got senior living and later life living is near and dear to my heart, not only because I'm in it to some extent, but also because I went through all that with my parents. And I'm going to be speaking at a sales palooza for a senior care industry organization that oversees a bunch of facilities, one of which my mama was in. And it's going to be amazing. I get to talk with them about the importance of community, about transforming their lives through how they deal with people, and give them stories about what I experienced and the things that they could do to make that life experience for others and community better. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's one of the keys in selling products. And selling is not a bad thing. Selling is just presenting a solution to someone that has a problem, and they're looking for solutions. So you're doing good by presenting it to them. But one of the keys to understand or in sales is understanding your customer and kind of knowing what they're going through, and people can learn from you. And I'll just say that if any businesses, organization groups are looking for an inspirational speaker, definitely reach out to Russ. I was able to go to watch him at the local YMCA, and this was a big awards assembly, if you will. Room was packed. Lots of dignitaries from the state were there, including our very own inspiration specialist, Russ Hedge.
There you go. I love opportunities to speak. Scott and I both love to speak, but anytime that you need somebody to light the room up, here I am ready to help you out in that. And I love especially things like this where it's really near and dear to my heart too, because through, like you said, life experience and how through the sales process they're affecting family members. I have been on really both sides of that. I've been on the sales end and I've been on the receiving end. So anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. And I just want to remind everybody, we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. Yes, because after we do this live, it sits on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube for infinity and beyond. That's right. Forever. You can go back and watch the video podcast. But guess what? If you don't have time to watch video, it converts to audio podcast, and you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. We love to have you on that. Also want to remind everybody that we love for you to join our YouTube. And if you could join our YouTube page at theexperience.video, we would love for you to do that. And so you can actually open a separate tab right now and just subscribe today. Scott also created an amazing link called local.theexperience.video, which kind of lays out everything for Scott and I both and our links. So you can get to everything on that one. And Scott also, it highlights our local show. Do you want to give just a little highlight on that before we move on?
Every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have The Experience Local live with Russ and Scott, where we bring in Christian business owners, business leaders, organization, nonprofit leaders. We just had a wonderful experience on Monday, on Memorial Day, with the leader of the largest Veterans Day parade this side of the Mississippi, right there in Albany, Oregon. So every week we've got just wonderful, inspirational people on that show.
Yeah, Christine Ferguson was great. And we have another great one coming up this next coming Monday. Tim Fondrich is going to be on. He's going to be amazing. So with that, I think we need to move on and invite the lovely ladies in to join us.
Yeah, my recommendation is people move this over to your 70-inch screen, because not only do you have an inspiration specialist, a motivational listener, but you're going to have a networking ninja and a snarky rainbow all on the same screen. Your 12-inch monitor can handle it.
I know. And so we're just going to bring them in both at the same time today because they're just too much fun.
Let's do it.
Welcome, Ingor Van Rooi and Kathryn Lang. Hello. Woohoo.
Yay.
Good morning.
Hey, Ingor, we're going to start with you today. And we're just so thankful, that you, the Community Connection Catalyst, your name is always kind of just tweaking a little bit. I have to stay up. I've got to read it to make sure I'm calling you the right thing. So the former networking ninja, now Community Connection Catalyst. What do you got going on? And what is all this community connection about?
Since I was a young girl, I knew that I loved people. And it just started coming out more and more in conversations, especially as I established myself as an entrepreneur. So now I have amazing people in my network, in my community, and they're not just people, but they're my people. You and Scott, Kathryn as well, and I see some people in the comments, Diane and Michael. You all are my reason for being, my reason, my inspiration, and that is why I'm now recognized as the Community Connection Catalyst, because what I do on shows, on my own show, is usually when I'm in conversation with someone and somebody else is commenting, I tell them, hey, you guys need to connect. There's some synergy there. And I've done it in person as well. So that is why I'm called what I'm called. And I just love doing that because to me, it's part of me pouring into the lives of others and really striving to make a positive impact.
And
So
I always have to comment on your backgrounds, right? Because I will just say that I am not a fan of virtual backgrounds. They just get too wonky, and people want to go, "Oh, let me show you this," and then it disappears, and it's just a terrible
Yes.
thing. But your backgrounds are always wonderful, and uh,
Thank you.
I'll just make the pitch and say that people can also get one directly from Ingor's husband, who does all the painting.
Yes, he
For
does.
probably what, $10,000 is the entry point now, I think, for one of those, but it includes shipping.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, free shipping. So life is good.
Life is
Well,
good.
it was interesting when you first started off, Ingor, when you said about inspiration. I started wanting to sing that Chicago song, "You're my inspiration." Anyway, that just went through my head. So that's just
Russ
kind of a
Russ can
total
sing, but
squirrel.
not this morning due to allergies.
Oh,
So
there you go. We're
there you
gonna
Oh.
go.
move on. So hey, Kathryn, Kathryn, who's wide awake and ready to roll. Kathryn, what do you got
She could have
going
been so
on?
excited for this show. She couldn't sleep all night just because she was going to be on the
She couldn't
experience.
wait because she is the snarky rainbow. That's right. All right, take it away.
Hey, that's one of the best things I've been called today.
So
I am Kathryn Lang. I am a natural born encourager. I am the person that slapped the doctor on the butt and told him he did a good job. I believe in the power of encouragement, and when you look into that word, it literally means that you're putting courage into the hearts of the people that you encounter. So it's something that I've always done. And now I'm on a new path, a new season to actually live out encouragement and stop getting on the treadmill, as the hamster wheel, the rules and the regulations and the box that they have created, and do it a different way. We're turning the world upside right with encouragement, hope, and faith.
I love that because often uh, we hear this phrase that great minds think alike, which is absolutely the opposite of what's true. Great minds follow diverse paths to arrive at novel solutions. And Kathryn, you embody that. And you and your family
Wait a minute.
are
Are you
making,
calling me novel?
I'm calling you are not bounded by artificial constraints, right?
Yes.
But you and your family are on a journey. You're going to be relocating.
Well, because life is what life is, and because I know that we are on the edge. Ingrid and I were talking about that this morning. When you are just about to break through, that is when the worst of the worst comes at you.
Mm.
And I couldn't have asked for more attacks to come against me in this next step. If everything that you could think of and imagine possible probably has happened in the last 48 hours. So we are now in a pivot point and a focused flexibility moment where we're letting go of everything, but we don't know what that means. So we shall
that's
see.
interesting. That's very interesting you bring that up because this morning's word or verse of the day in the little Bible app that I use every morning as part of my devotions was Psalm 119, 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And, I was listening to they have a little video that goes along with it. And I don't know if you guys know John Eldredge, an amazing author. If you haven't read John Eldredge's book, Scott, especially for men, they're amazing. But anyway, he was saying that God doesn't show us the whole journey, but he lights the way for the next step. And so sometimes it's just taking that next step and being faithful, not knowing, Kathryn, where we're actually going, right?
Yes, definitely. And that reminds me of a time early in my writing career, and I was really bold and really not bound by the limitations of what people told me it's supposed to look like because I didn't know anybody that had done it. So I didn't have anybody telling me which way to go. And I got up one morning. It was pitch dark. We lived in the woods, so we had no light. If we didn't turn on a light, there was no light. It's pitch dark. I get up, and that poem about rage against the
dying of the
night,
light.
the dying of the
Yes.
light, right? So I'm rage on, and I slammed face first into the closed bathroom door, and the bathroom door is never closed. But I couldn't see it because it was so dark. And I laughed because that's so often what happens to us in life. We get all pumped and excited and encouraged and focused and determined, and then we run into a closed bathroom door. If we don't have people around us, going back to relationships, Ingor, if we don't have people around us that says, you've got this. Hey, what you said really inspired me. Hey, you make me braver because you're daring to take this step. If we don't have those people fueling our possibility, then we won't get there. If we're flocking around, ostriches, then we're not going to be able to take flight.
Right. Right.
We've got to
it was
find more eagles.
Our pastor was giving this sermon, and he has this line. He comes in, he says, "You need to believe that God has a plan for your life." And at the moment, I was thinking, that's not the problem. I know God has a plan for my life. The problem is, when is it going to be revealed to me?
Well, that's it. And, Ingor, I know you have had, as we all do, your share of challenges, but trusting God every step of the way too.
Yes. I mean, we have to walk by faith, right? And to be honest with you, God never reveals the full picture. And because he knows how much we can take, and he knows that we'll get overwhelmed if we see everything that he has in store for us. So he shows us one step at a time, and that's why we need to just take that one step, and then he'll reveal the next thing.
Yeah, and I love that. I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was Petra years ago, the band Walk by Faith, Not by Sight, that scripture, but the song that they had that went with that was great. But it's so true that we don't see everything. And I am believing this year, as my word is abundance. And as I go into this year, believing God's abundance, at the same time, Kathryn, I run up against a whole lot of things that in life that have been not what I expected and not what I wanted. And so, a lot of times I'm thinking, God, do we have to go through this, whether it's more medical issues or whether it's just financial issues or things like that, it's always making us trust that next step, God's just going to lead us in that direction, right? The way we need to go. Yeah. So Scott,
And
Kathryn,
it's not going to, it's not going to look like what anybody
The way you
else's looks
think.
like.
Yeah.
And please stop right now. If you're looking at your neighbor, or you're looking at Scott, or you're looking at Russ, or you're looking at me, don't look at me. And you're saying, how come their step is different from my step? Your journey is different from their journey. My gait, the length of my step is way different from my husband's. We have to, because we're walking together, we have to work together in order to adjust our gaits so that we can match up. But it's still his walk and my walk. We're not on the exact same walk because we're two very different people. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Somebody mentioned recently that you only compare yourself to it was a Kirk Nugent, a friend of mine from Huntsville. He said the only thing you should do is compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Every other comparison is a waste of time, energy, and resources.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we live a life of comparison, we always lose, right? Because back in the 80s, there was that bumper sticker that says, he who dies with the most toys wins. It was like, you already lost. Bill Gates has that. Michael Jordan already has that. So if you can't win, then you won't play. And so a life of comparison, you will always lose. Or you're just looking at somebody else who has different circumstances and trying to look down on them to lift yourself up. That you lose there too. So every time we live a life of comparison, we will lose.
And I think
love
that,
Kathryn.
yeah. And I think that's so important, not to compare ourselves to others, but to realize the truth is that everybody is going through things. And when we give and reach out and try to inspire and help others in the midst of the struggles that we're having, I think God works through that, right? It is
Mhm.
through the challenges that we grow the most, that we make the most progress through things, because it's God's taking that sandpaper, Inger, and kind of
Mhm.
taking off the rough edges, right? I mean, I've got a few rough edges here, but anyway,
Yes.
Well, at the same time, I don't think we have to go through the rough places in order
Mhm.
to get the smoothness. A running stream over a rock will smooth the edges as
Yeah.
much as sandpaper will.
Oh,
And
sure.
the more that we're invested in our learning and growing, and in me, it's my faith. The more I'm invested in that relationship with God, the easier the smoothing goes. It's usually I have to hang out with the sandpaper when I make my choice to do it my
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
Right.
And I just
Mhm.
kind of look at God and go, I know you can handle it, but today I
Yes.
think I need to slap them in the face for you.
I think Inger's story, I think, Inger, your story it can be an inspiration for us, because you first came on with your first video show with the introduction that says, "I hate video." Uh,
Mhm.
but radio has come along. You're doing work internationally. Tell us about your journey.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am driven by the principle of Ubuntu. And the reason why I believe in this principle, which by the way, it means I am because we are. The reason why I believe in this principle so wholeheartedly is because I am a living, breathing example of it. Um, I actually, God called me to change how I use LinkedIn in 2021 in February. He called me in January and he said, "You're going to start on February 1st." And I was like, "Oh, crap." Okay. And I did. I just started posting regularly. And then the fourth day, someone in my network posted and said, "Hey, if you'd like to grow on this platform, please reach out to me or make a comment on this post." At that time, I was too afraid to comment on posts. Yes, I was. And so I sent him a DM, and then he gave me some tips and I followed them. And honestly, within a few days, I was getting introduced to different people, and it was just exploding, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. After that, I met someone on LinkedIn who then, we started commenting and following each other's content. And one day he sends me a message and he says, "Hey, you and I should start a clubhouse room together." And I was like, "Yes, good idea." And I just left it at that. The next thing I knew, this guy scheduled the clubhouse room, and he's like, "Hey, here's the link. Just show up at this time on this day." And I was like, "Oh no, I don't even know how to use this." Well, I started doing that, and then I started meeting more people that would invite me to be on their shows. One of them, through a friend of mine, was Russ Hedge. And I was like, I don't know. This is really not for me." Well, Russ asked again, and I said yes. I went on the show, and after the show, Russ says to me, "Hey, Inga, have you ever thought about having your own show?" And I thought, this guy is crazy. What the heck is he even thinking? And he said, "You should think
Which is
about
not
it."
wrong.
You were right too.
Yes, you are crazy, but you were right. I now have two shows, one of which is on radio every Wednesday, and it's an international radio station. We actually are in every single country except Greenland. And if God had told me that, "Hey, this is where you're gonna end up," I would have been like, "Nope, I'm running for the road. No, thank you. This is not for me." Because truly, um, if I can, I always will strive to turn off my camera like this. Um, but I'm here because of my people, because I know that there's somebody out there that needs to hear my message, that needs the upliftment, the inspiration, the motivation to get out of their own way and really allow themselves to be used. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that can be true of all of us too. No matter what we're going through, whether we're going through things and God's abundance and everything is great, or we're going through life challenges that come along. I think we all need inspiration, and we all
Yes.
need to continue to utilize the gifts and the abilities that God has given us. So, hey, as I am the responsible host and need to start the process here, I want to go back to you, Kathryn, and
That
say,
puts me
we
as,
would like.
by the way, the irresponsible host.
Yeah, there we go. I am the responsible
Yeah.
host. Yes. And as we are wrapping up things, but I need you, Kathryn, to give us your final words of wisdom and your gold nugget of today, and then how everybody gets in touch with you, because not only do you want to connect with everybody, but people should want to connect with you because of your joy and wisdom that you have as well. So go ahead. Go ahead, Snarky.
See, that's like, have you ever watched Finding Nemo and they come to the clownfish and they're like, be funny? Yeah, it never works out that way for you. When somebody tells you to be funny, you always struggle. Well, most people struggle. I'm just naturally like that. But my main point is exactly what Russ was saying. And it is that you are designed on purpose and for a purpose. You have a unique place in this world. And when you discover it and when you uncover that, I like to call it a heart seed. When you uncover what was planted in you long before time began, then you can begin to grow it up until you're so bold, nothing can hold you back, not even yourself. And if you're struggling for this, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I mentioned it to Russ. I mentioned it to the Global Tea Break that my husband and I are launching the Abundant Life program. And that's what it's all about. It's all about discovering who you are, whose you are, and how your place in this world is going to. The world was flipped upside down in the garden. The world was flipped right side up at the resurrection, but we're all walking around upside down because the world's convinced us it's right, and it's time to take it back and flip this world back the way it's supposed to be. So you can find me over at kathrynlang.com, snarkyrainbows.com, or pretty much anywhere you can spell my name correctly.
With a K.
Oh, I just have to go back and say it is amazing to be here with the Snarky Rainbow, with the community connection catalyst, and whatever else you're called.
Well, and my
The
wife loves
motivational listener and
alliteration.
the inspiration specialist. We're all
Yeah.
coming together to make life better for everybody. So speaking of snarky, okay, Ingor, you're next.
I'm not snarky. I want to encourage everyone to look within themselves and in their community and find that inspiration. I'm holding a few books that were written by some of my friends. And, because of them, I could tell that I would be able to publish my own book. Who knew? It was a gift that I had to give to myself, but it was because of my community. I have a few more books that I need to purchase because my friend fails to mention that she has written so many books. I'm talking about her. Kathryn is amazing. Her first book actually sold more than 20,000 copies.
Wow.
So, yes, right? Right? You didn't know
New
that.
York Times
And how long have
bestseller
you been
there.
friends? Yes. How long have you been friends, Russ, right? So, Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And that's really the power of community, the power of connecting with one another, and the power of tapping into your community and drawing inspiration from them. So I'm so blessed to be here, and thank you for inviting me. You can connect with me wherever you like. Just Google me and you'll find me, Ingor van Rooi. Thank you so much, Russ and Scott.
I love it. I love it. We over at the Global Tea Break, we love to quote our friend Ted Rubin, who says, a network gives you reach, but community gives you power.
And that is why I'm no longer the networking ninja, but a community connection catalyst.
And my wife loves alliteration, so we love that.
Thank you.
That is so great. Well, listen, ladies, it has been an amazing honor to have you both on. I just want to remind everybody, we all are connected, this group here on the Global Tea Break. So you go to globalteabreak.com, find out more about that. And we would love, as Kathryn said, for everybody to join us. It's an amazing worldwide group. But no matter what your community is, I just want to encourage you to be part of community. Who was speaking there? Go ahead. Somebody had something to say? Okay.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Well, I was just going to say that Kathryn put the join us in Alabama.
Yeah. I love that. JOINE.
Hey,
join us.
I'll just tell you, find out where Kathryn's going to be. Let her know you're coming for breakfast. And when I was traveling through, I got to meet her and her husband and her son and just have an amazing time. And so always, again, take advantage, find ways to connect face to face in real life. You're going to love the opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. And, I want to encourage everybody today to definitely connect with everybody here. And ladies, Scott and I just want to thank you so much for, I'm personally blessed that you're my friends, and, both of you message me and keep me encouraged. And I appreciate that. And so, yeah, it's going to be a good day. I'm thankful for that.
Yes.
So, yes. So anyway, hey, here, we're going to send you up. We're going to say goodbye, send you up to the green room. We'll be right there. If the host knows how to do it. There we go. All right.
Well, I'll just say again, there's a lot of inspiration in one screen. And,
whoa.
Definitely worth sharing and watching in replay, because you're going to pick up something new. And it's the travel season, so you're going to be taking those long road trips. So subscribe on the podcast and stream these episodes one after another.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody, local.theexperience.video is a great place to go. But if you want to go directly to our YouTube page, you can just go to the experience.video, and either one of those will get you great information, get you connected. The beautiful thing about YouTube is there is a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and value right there at your fingertips. So we'd love for you to subscribe today, be part of that. And don't forget, we'll be here next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. Yes, don't forget, this does convert to audio podcast as well. You can listen on your favorite audio podcast. And don't forget, Monday we'll be on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We're encouraging all of you to focus on local. So it's not just meant for our local area. It's meant for all of you. Think about local, even in this global community. And we love the Believers in Business theme of that show. We're on 2 radio stations now, which is amazing in the local area. And we're so thankful for that. And with that, Scott, I think we're just going to call it a day. What do you think?
Yeah, everyone go out and enjoy the experience of life.
That's it. Listen, everybody, thanks for being here. Scott and I are always so excited to have you here. So is Kermie. And until we see you again, have a great day and a great life, and
enjoy the experience.
Woohoo!
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.